Good afternoon, welcome. We're joined right now by Vedang Raina. Vedang is going to be telling us a few things about himself. Vedang, we're going to step away from the conversation you just had right now, which was a panel discussion, which was a little bit about what it's like to be part of the young Indian film industry. We're going to ask you funner questions right now. You're obviously at Rising Bharat though, so I've got to ask you some Bharat-related questions also.
Sure.
So we'll start there, then we'll take you to other places, other questions. But I do want to ask you, let's start with just this. Tell me something. If you had a friend who was living outside the country, what is the one thing you wish you could show them about our country?
The way we all like coexist, how diverse we are and how we're able to coexist and how rich our culture is.
Can I ask you what your favorite thing, you said you're a Mumbai kid.
Yes.
You were originally a Delhi kid.
Not really, I was only born here and my parents are from here, but I consider myself a Mumbai kid.
And which of the great stereotypes of Mumbai, because there are some great stereotypes,
Right.
some bothersome stereotypes of Mumbai and Delhi, let's be real.
Right.
Which of the ones in Bombay do you go, yeah, I see this everywhere, good and bad both?
What I want to know a Delhi perspective. You're from Delhi, right?
Yes.
So tell me, what do you think is
The good or the
Mumbai's-
bad?
Let's stick to the good.
Okay, Mumbaikars work very hard, they're very professional.
They are. I mean, we're like a busy city, the city that never sleeps, and we do work very hard. So I think that's bang on.
Okay, Delhi kids, they often say, especially with boys, there's a lot of attitude. In Bombay, I found the stereotype at least is that's not true.
See, it depends on which part of the city you're in, right? Which is true for both cities, I think. But I'm not gonna say anything. Listen, anything I say, like
Oh,
the Delhi
could
people could hit
spiral
me.
out.
Yeah. I love both cities, and I'm part of both, quite literally, because I was born here. Yeah, I mean, everyone has attitude everywhere.
Fair. Okay, can I ask you, growing up, who is someone that you've looked up to a lot? Can be a man, can be a woman, can be anything. I'm not.
Right. Someone who I've looked up to, I'm going to name someone outside of my family, and I think Messi. Messi is my favorite.
Do you play soccer?
Football. Football.
Spoken like a, then do you support a team?
I
Is what
do,
I'm going to
I
ask
do.
you next.
I do. I
Okay.
support Barcelona, and I still support Barcelona for all the Messi fans out there who think that all the Barcelona fans migrated after Messi left. I didn't. It started with Messi, my love for him as a player and him
Are
as a
you a,
person.
if I may ask, are
Yes.
you a midfielder? Are you defense? Are you forward? What do you?
I haven't played in a while. I haven't played in quite a few years actually, but I used to play forward. I used to play left
Which
wing.
tells us a lot about your person. I always ask that question because I find with football,
Interesting.
as I've just said, it's an immediate world into the kind of person you're looking at.
Interesting.
It's true. You know what I
It's
mean?
like how
Forwards
you-
are usually aggressive, for example. Not bad or good. You just take initiative. Versus defense. I found it, it affects your whole...
But it could be the other way around. Like defenders are super aggressive, man. I can name a few.
Because in a different way you need to be.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, because we know that you have, over the last few years especially, we see you acting, we see that side of you, we see also on your social media, but on your social media you're a little guarded in the sense that we see the social side of you. I want to ask, are there things you like to do? So for example, is there an instrument that you play? Do you like drawing? Is there something else? Reading? Is there a
Yes.
book that you've read in the last few years that's changed the way you think?
I wish I had an answer to that, but I honestly, honest confession is I'm not the biggest reader. I started off being a huge reader when I was maybe in my early teens, and then that habit kind of just,
Which has happened to a lot of us.
This happened to a lot of us
Yeah.
because everything's become so instant, like dopamine, right? So I think I have shifted more towards movies.
Tell me a movie that you've loved. And
there's so many.
not a recent one. I want to know something that's shaped the person you are.
Shape the person I am. I'm trying to think of maybe then something I saw in my early teens. I don't know if this is like a cliche or boring answer, but Interstellar is one film
Oh, that's
that really
a great...
impacted me.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it when I think it came out when I was 13 or 14. And that really changed
Matthew
the way I looked.
McConaughey at his...
Of course, at
yeah.
its absolute best, right? And it changed the way I kind of looked at films, my perspective on, cinema. And I was just so blown away by how bizarre and amazing something can be.
Let me ask you a last question.
Sure.
This is a stereotypical question, but I'm asking you because you named McConaughey. He's someone who's known for the diversity in the kind of roles he does, right?
Right.
And he had that one year where he had back-to-back hits, and they were very different kinds of hits. Tell me something, do you look at the kind of films we're seeing come out, for example, of Bollywood, and say, this is the kind of film I want to do? Is there a really, really cool actor, director that you're looking at, a musician world over, and you're like, this is the kind of stuff I want to be creating?
Sure. I think as an actor, it's just innate like fire in us to want to explore and try new things. I think it keeps us excited and keeps things
Give me a
entertaining.
name though. Who's someone you're looking at? You're like, this person's game. I wanna.
So, I mean, I've really always looked up to Ranbir in the Hindi film industry. I think he does a lot of different diverse roles, and he's just such a natural and he's so easy on camera. And then there's Timothy Chalamet, who I think is doing really interesting stuff there and picking like really interesting, making
Roles.
some really interesting choices. And he's
And
kind of
fashion
like,
choices too, which
yes.
which I think is today
yeah, and
so
I
important.
look up to that. I
Okay.
think that even with fashion, things are changing and everything's becoming more fluid. And he's like openly, he has this androgynous kind
Yeah,
of like
he's deeply
vibe going
gender
on.
fluid in what he does.
And,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and it's great. Like he owns it, and there's
And we
no-
need more like that here,
Exactly,
frankly.
we don't have that much here.
Yeah. We have it in a few actors already.
Sure.
Some are flirting with it.
Sure.
But thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
out time to speak to us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.